Hello students and welcome to my channel MK Tutorial. So students, in animal husbandry session we talked about what is animal husbandry, what is dairy farming, what is poultry farming and so on. So in this two different farm management we basically talked about how animals are beneficial to humans to give their economic profit out. So in today's class we will talk about beekeeping, or it is also called as apiculture. So taking in point about dairy farming and poultry farming, now we are quite aware ki what exactly is our method of learning. So for the two dairy farming and poultry farming, so for the two dairy farming and poultry farming, the video link I will provide you in the description box. For today's lecture, we will talk about beekeeping or apiculture. What is beekeeping? What is apiculture? So in our lifetime, it is really very common. We have seen honeybees around, and these honeybees, they are always very busy and they will be mourning around the flowers. So whenever we'll say honeybee, we'll always imagine flower in front of it. Yes. So what is the job of this honeybee and why the flower is playing an important role, and what is the product obtained from this honeybee? So for today's class we will be talking about an insect which is beneficial to human to give its economic benefit or profit. So what exactly is that economic profit keeping or apiculture? Now apiculture is derived from a Latin term called as apis. So apiculture is derived from a Latin term called as apis, and apis is actually a genetic name or a genus of a honeybee. So it is a genus of the honeybee. Now in every farm management we have learned that how those livestock or how those animals are beneficial for the human. Same way in apiculture, what will be the definitions for it? So apiculture, it deals with the care and management. Apiculture deals with the care and management of honeybee to obtain the product for economic benefit, as in the products which are derived from the honeybee. Or else we can also put it as apiculture is artificial rearing of honeybee to obtain the product out of it for its economic. What are the products which we get from the honeybee? So the products which are derived from, the products which we get or obtain from honeybee are first is honey, we all are aware of it. Second is beeswax. Third is royal jelly, and the last is bee venom. Although there are two more, but so these are few products which are derived from honeybee. The major concerns are honey and beeswax. Now honey is, we are very much aware with honey since the mention about honey is found from ancient days. Now honey is one of the universal food, or you can say it is one of the versatile food, because it has found its impression of very much importance in the diet of every human consumption. It is important not only for humans as well as for animals. So you will find. Now why it is versatile? Because it has got too many of nutritive value as well as the medicinal value. So honey is having nutritive value as well as you will find a medicinal value. Honey is very important because it is having a nutritive value as well as a medicinal value. It is also used as a laxative and expectorant. Yes, it is also used as an expectorant. So that's all about honey. Beeswax. Now beeswax is actually a wax which is basically secreted from the glands of the old honeybee, and it finds of really very economic importance because it is used in cosmetics, for making of candles. If you find some organic cosmetics like lip balm and lipstick, it will always have an beeswax into it. Then it is also used in paints, polishes, etc. Royal jelly is basically used as in, it is extracted from the glands of the very young honeybees, and it is basically used by a diabetic patients, as well as it's really good for healing the wounds. Then we also obtain the bee venom. So that's all about the products which are obtained from the honey. A high yield. Yes, if we need a high yield, what we need, if you want a high production, you need a high yield, you need to have a good variety. Yes, you need to have a good superior quality of the breeds. So let us learn the breeds of honeybee. Now in case of honeybee, we are having total 4 breeds, out of which total 4 breeds we are having, and out of this 3 are indigenous, 3 are Indian, and 1 is exotic. So let us learn the first 3 indigenous or the Indian breeds, Indian species, and then we'll learn the last exotic one. The first species of honeybee is Apis dorsata. So Apis, can you relate apiculture? Yes, so Apis is basically the genus or the genetic name of the honeybee. So Apis dorsata, followed by Apis florea, and the last is Apis indica. Yes, so these are the 3 Indian or indigenous species of honeybee. Apis dorsata, its common name is rock bee, or it is also called as giant bee. Now the special feature of this bee is it is basically very largest bee, and since it is the largest bee, the quantity of the honey which it gives is also large. But this honeybee is actually really very ferocious, and it is really very difficult to domesticate this species. So this one is the wild one, which we will find into the forest or jungle. The another is Apis florea. Its common name is little bee. Its common name is little bee, and since the name is little bee, it is of really very small size. So if it is in small in size, the honey which it will give, it is also of really very small quantity. Yes, so therefore it is not having any economical use, because the honey which you will get from this, it will be really very little, and it will take years to get honey from it. So we are not using this species. Then Apis indica. Now this species, the common name of the species is Indian bee. This species is of medium size, and it is not at all ferocious, so therefore it can be domesticated. So for our apiculture, we mostly use Apis indica species rather than these 2 species. So in case if it is coming as an MCQ, that species is used in apiculture, and you will have the 4 options, all the 4 names of the honeybee, or the 4 breeds. So you will always opt for Apis indica. Yes, so this is a medium size, and we get good quantity of honey out of it, and it is obviously not at all wild, it is not ferocious, and therefore it is domesticated, and only this is used for apiculture. Now let us talk about the exotic one. So the last one is Apis mellifera. This is called as European bee. The common name is European bee and the scientific name is Apis mellifera. Now this is also, it is same like in Apis indica and it is also domesticated. Now recently only this Apis mellifera, it has been introduced in many parts of India for rearing of the honeybees. Yes, for in case of apiculture, Apis mellifera. So initially we used to use only Apis indica, but now recently this exotic species have been introduced into many parts of India and therefore we are also using Apis mellifera. So total 4 breeds of honeybee: Apis dorsata, Apis florea, Apis indica and Apis mellifera. This one is exotic. So we are having 3 Indian and 1 exotic species. So I have mentioned the pictures of all the breeds below. You can see the pictures. So these are few pictures you can see of Apis dorsata, Apis florea, Apis indica and Apis mellifera. Yes, now, so now we are done with the breeds. Let us start with the production or where they are kept. Now, the next part is the place or the home or the shelter or the shade of the honeybee. So, place of honeybee or the where honeybee are kept. Now, in a natural environment where you can find honeybee, either they will be rendering around the flowers to obtain the nectar, or else, and after collecting those nectar, you'll always find them in the honeycomb. Yes. So honeycomb is something which we are very much aware of it. We can, for example, so you can see the picture of honeycomb in front of you. Yes. Now the place where these honeybees are staying is called as beehive. Yes, so beehive is nothing but a honeycomb only. So the picture of honeycomb is in front of honeybee. It is also called as apiary. Honeybee is not a single bee, but in case of honeybee, you can always find there is polymorphism and division. In case of honeybee, we'll see there is polymorphism and division of labor. Polymorphism meaning there is an involvement of more than 1 or 2 species, different species rather, and division of labor, it means each and every individual or each and every honeybee, they are designated for their different work. Now, let us see why they are called polymorphism and having a division of work. Now, honeybee, now we got to know honeybee, they stay in the beehive or the apiary. So, it takes around 30,000 to 50,000. Yes, it takes around 30,000 to 50,000 honeybees to make one colony. So this all honeybee, they basically they live in a form of a colony, and in each colony you will find around 30,000 to 50,000 honeybees. Now in case of honeybee, we are having 3 different types of honeybee. So the first one is the queen bee, the next is the drone bee, and the last is the worker bee. And because of this 3 different bees, it is called as polymorphism. Yes, now queen bee, drone bee and worker bee. You can see the images below. Now queen bee is basically the fertile female. Queen bee is the fertile female and it is the largest among the colony. Yes, it is the largest. It is largest in size. You can see the size also. The queen bee is the largest in the colony and it is the largest female fertile bee. It is not going to do any work. The only work of this queen bee is just to simply lay eggs, and it lay eggs around 1000 to 1500 per day, and the lifespan of the queen bee is somewhere around 2 to 3 years. So that's all about the queen bee. Yes. Now the drone bee. The drone bee is basically the male one. Yes, it is the male bee, and it is not as large as this, but it is sorted into medium size. You can see, check in the picture, and it is going to stay, or its lifespan is say about 60 days, and the only work of this drone bee is to fertile the virgin queen. That's the only work the drone bee have. Then the last one is the worker bee. Worker bee is basically a sterile female, and the name indicates this is the bee is going to work continuously 24/7, and therefore because of this worker bee, the honeybees are always called as the busiest bees. Yes, they will be always busy. So the one who is always busy is basically the worker bee, and this worker bee makes the majority of the population in their colony. So the jobs of this worker bee is, they will be like raising the young one, that is the young honeybee. They'll go for the collection of the honeybee. Very important thing is that only, that is collection of nectar. So raising the young honeybees and go and collect the honey. Then the cleaning of the beehives, cleaning of the honeycomb, and everything, cleaning, maintenance, everything is taken care of by the worker bee. This queen and drone, they are basically acting as an king and queen, where they are just going to reproduce, and the later on all the work is done by this worker bee. So that's all about. And because of this reason, because of the three different varieties which we are having in honeybee, we call it as a polymorphism, and the division of labor is done by the worker bee. So the queen bee is allotted a different work, the drone bee is allotted a different work, and a worker bee is allotted a different work. That indicates the division of labor. Method is methods of beekeeping. Now in ancient days, the methods of beekeeping was of really very pure and natural form of honeycombs which you can find in the walls or the branches of the trees. Yes, but if we want to do this as in practice, as in into commercial level, what we need to do in modern days, we are using an artificial beehive box. Artificial beehive box you can see in front of you. So in modern days, for practicing apiculture as in commercial industries, as to a commercial level, to obtain an economic good benefit out of it, we practice in artificial beehive box. Now this artificial beehive box, this can be kept in areas with sufficient number of pastures, or else you can keep it into some wild shrubs or fruit orchards, or you can also keep it into crop fields. Basically you can keep it in those areas where there is abundance of the flowers. Now what this artificial beehive box consists of? So the one who is doing the practice of apiculture, or the one who is doing this rearing of this honeybees, they'll have their proper suit. Yes, so because honeybees, they are special for stinging. Yes, they'll harm you, they'll sting your all the body parts. So if you want to do a career, or if you want to do this into a commercial level, you need to take care of you as well as you want to extract the honey out of it. So for this beehive box, you can keep it into any crop fields or the fruit orchards, and it consists of a comb foundation sheet. Yes, So this comb foundation sheet, it is basically a replica of an beehive. So if when honeybee is seeing this comb foundation sheet, it will be like confused by the beehive, and it will come and start rearing on this comb foundation sheet, and it will start giving the nectar, or the nectar deposition will be starting here. After this comb foundation sheet, one needs to also have bee will. Now bee will is, it's basically a mask or a cap, you can see into picture. So it is used, so when the honey is ready to get out of the beehive box, when it is ready to extract, you need to go to that beehive box and you need to take out this comb foundation sheet, and you need to take that honey out. Yes, so but a direct man can't go, because if a direct man is going and putting a hand into comb foundation sheet, just imagine the level, all the honeybees will leave that comb foundation sheet and will attract towards your body, and it will start stinging you. Is that be okay for you as in business? No. So to protect yourself, you need to have a proper suit wherein all the parts of your body, they are properly packed, they are properly covered by a coat, gloves, gum shoes, everything. So this bee veil is basically, it is a mask wherein your face, your head, your neck, everything is protected, and it is having a net so that you can have a view of it, what exactly you are doing, and that bee veil is tucked inside your coat. After bee veil, one needs to have a smoker. So when you are approaching with a proper suit having a bee veil to a foundation sheet or an artificial beehive box, so there will be too many honeybees, and there will be an obstacle so that you can't get honey from it, because they're continuously doing their work, busy, they are very busy. So what we need to do, we need to carry a smoker. You can see into picture, we need to carry a smoker with us. So the smoker is basically, it is having the burning of all the fuels, and it will generate some fumes. So those fumes, and they will help the honeybee to get out of those beehive box for a while. And when this honeybees, they are out of this beehive box for a while, with the help of the smoker, this all honeybees, there are chances they might render to another environment. So we are having a swarm net which is going to catch all those honeybees for a while and keep. After smoker, there are gloves and gum shoes, one needs to take care of it. The another is uncapping knife. Uncapping knife is basically the knife, what it will do, it will have that comb foundation sheet, and it is going to just extract all the honey from it, that's it. So that's the job of the uncapping knife. So this all are the things which are done by the artificial beehive box, and the one who is doing that, that is the apiculture. So the last thing for apiculture is, what are the steps for beekeeping? So the one who is involved in this apiculture commercial business, the one needs to be very much aware, or it should have a knowledge of the nature and the habit of bee. Yes, we should be aware with all the breeds. Yes, now we got to know what all the breeds are present, and we should be always be aware with all the behavior of the bee. Yes, so if we got to know the behavior of the bee, it is easier for us to go further. Next is the selection of a suitable location for that apiary or a beehive box. So it's important, you can't keep into and desert area, or you can't keep it into flooded area. Yes, you can, if you want a good yield, if you want a good production, so you need to keep it into those area which is having an abundant flowers around it. So I have mentioned you can use it into fruit orchards, you can use it into crop fields. Yes, you can use it into some wild shrubs, so that you can have a good yield. Catching of the live swarms, I have mentioned it now only when there is an uncapping happening, or when there is a smoking happening. So whatever are the beehive bees which are moving from there, you have to catch all. Yes, management during the different season, this is very important. You should look after the beehive or the apiary, and you should be aware with all the seasons, what all thing will affect your honeybee, either winter, either rainy, or either summer. So what all things or the problems can come in the beehive box during different season, and according to the season as well as the behavior of the honeybee, the management should be done. Second, handle and the collection. So handling and the collection, handling of the beehive box is really very important. You have to keep it clean, you have to keep it sanitized, you have to do as an checkup of the beehive box every now and then. A routine checkup is really mandatory, so that it should be not get infected, contaminated by any microorganism further. And handling, then once everything is done in a proper way, the last step is the collection, that is collect honey. And that's all about the apiculture. I hope I made it crystal clear and you understood. I believe it is understood. If there are any doubts, you can ask me in a comment section. And if you like my lecture and teaching, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.